Hello everyone, what is good? It's JST, we're back, and Tekken 8 Season 3 is now here. If you can tell by my muted tone of voice, you can probably see that I'm maybe not, like, blown away by it. We all knew that nerfs were coming, we all knew that changes were going to occur, so I'm not necessarily losing sleep over that fact. However, there's something to be said about game feel and how the character in your hands feels to play. It's not about identity. I think that term is overused. And it's also not about viability. Those are two different conversations. A character's identity and viability are not the same. I think his identity is intact. So, you know, let's not go that far. I also don't think his viability has been ruined. If anything, in some ways it's changed. However, I would like to go over his changes in terms of what it means for the character's gameplay style. Okay? Cool. So this attack is very, very interesting for a variety of reasons. If you see, it can be cancelled on hit or block. So up forward 1 on its own is a multi-hitting attack. This used to be his 1+2 in Tekken 6. It's now up forward 1 input. Now, on hit, +3. First hit, -5. So you can cancel the first hit, but it's -5. 15 frames start up, +3, -5 on the first hit. So the first hit is -12. The second hit's also -12. So this isn't a string you can just abuse. This kind of has unique circumstances. Now let's explain. The idea is it has tracking to one side. That's the whole gimmick behind this move. The idea is this move is meant to catch people stepping to the right, I believe. There we go. Sidestep right tracking. So alternating current, up forward 1 or up 1 has good right sidestep tracking. So the idea is that it's meant to catch people stepping to the right. So do you see how on block he's sidestepping right my down forward 1? But if I do up forward 1, I'm preventing him from sidestepping right against me. So stepping to my left, his right. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what this move is for. That's the function of this. It's to catch people attempting to sidestep to Lars's left / right to their right, which is his weak side. That's kind of the gimmick. Now, if you notice, if I do back, he cancels it. This is kind of a unique situation because on block, it's -12. On hit, it's -5. So the reasons to cancel it really depends on how the meta shakes up. So I don't really have any comments for when and where to like block necessarily, when to cancel it, but yeah, just up forward 1, back to cancel, and then finally up forward 1 down. Now this is probably the most important part. This part that's going to interest the vast majority of people. Is if you notice, if I do down, he will go into limited entry. Now that's the important part. That's the important part. That's the part that we care about. Because he now gets +3 into limited entry mix-up. Right? Etc. and so forth. Right? So that's kind of the gimmick now. Like, you now, in this case, let's show the whole thing in action. So I'm going to get him to block my jab. He will now sidestep right the minute he blocks my jab, and I will now do this into a mix-up. Oh, incorrect. Sorry. Let's start again. So he will now sidestep right after blocking my jab. I have now prevented him from escaping using up forward 1 into while standing 4. Cool. That's kind of the point of this move. It's to, you know, discourage opponents from trying to escape to the right, which kind of coincides directly with his next move. Now, before I do that, I should add that his old 10 string used to be up forward 1. It now starts with up back 1. So his 10 string used to be up forward 1. It's now up back 1. So, right? What's the input again? There we go. Yeah, etc. So his old 10 string starter is now up back 1 instead of up forward 1, because up forward 1 change. And one thing I saw on Kaizoku's stream and other people figuring out that one thing that's decent is with back 4, you're +4. But of course, it counter hit knocks down, and also it pushes them far away in neutral. Whereas with up forward 1, it keeps you close and you're +3. It has a bit of like forward momentum to it. So the idea being that if you catch people stepping with this, 30 damage is a lot. So this could kill somebody. So whereas normally, this is what? 17 damage on normal hit. Now let's turn on counter just to see. Oh, player rage? No. Player counter hit. So 17 damage normal hit. 20 damage knockdown hit, but up forward 1. 32 damage counter hit, which I think is pretty decent. So there may be certain situations where you'd opt to go for up forward 1 instead. This is another interesting change. So back 2, it now has this little wisp of smoke on it too, kind of like that does as well. Is up forward 1 is catching him stepping right. Back 2 is catching him stepping left. So now let's get him to try and step to me left this time, right? And I need him to block, so... Right? So he's not going to step to my left, which is not the correct way to step Lars anyway, but let's say for the sake of argument, you want to be stepping to Lars's left. I don't know why you want to do that, but hey. Let's say you do want to do that. Well, you now see back 2 step is catching them, which means you can do stuff like that. Hit confirm back 2-1, which has always existed. Or you can do back 2-3. It's kind of subtle, but if you look closely, there's a bit of delay on it where I can actually not hit confirm it. I was watching MYK, he said it's situational confirm, which is kind of true. So it's not a hit confirm, but you can kind of see it hit them, and there's a slight delay which lets you confirm it. So at the wall, as you can imagine, this means you can do a hit confirm like that. Okay, so can I make him, am I good enough to confirm it? Got it, okay, got it. Didn't get it that time. That time I just let it rip. So there, I'm trying to visually hit confirm, the back 2's hitting. But the timing's a little tight. So in a way, it's not fully hit confirmable. You have to kind of be switched on. Right, nope, not that time. So, not fully hit confirmable, but it's delayable enough that in the situation I was setting up right there, it allows you to use it in neutral, especially at the wall. So if someone tries to escape, then... So as you can see, if they sidestep left against you... I kind of like it for back 2-1. If I see someone try to step left a lot, that's good. So it gives you the alternation to, say, back 1. Because back 1's good, and obviously the counter hit will knock him down. And as you can see, the new up forward 1 does not track left. However, back 2 now track left. See what I mean? There you go. So that is the benefit and the addition of this new back 2. Another interesting change. I think this change is fantastic. So first things first, down 2, still 18 frame startup. I need him to stop sidestepping. Right? It's still 18 frame startup, still 0 on block, so do not get it twisted. Nothing's changed about the frame data. Right? It's still 0 on block. That has not changed. Alright? That has not changed. However, on hit, still +8. The new change is, you've all been seeing that new counter hit animation floating around, right? I'm sure you've all seen it. So after I hit him with a jab, he's going to mash at me, right? Now, that's what you now get with down 2. So down 2 now gives you that brand new counter hit animation we're seeing for a lot of characters have, where it gives them that crazy knockdown. Right? So at +8, if he attempts to mash me... No, because, like, no, so Antonio, I'm trying to demonstrate a situation where to use down 2, because I think... So this is for everyone, by the way, who's watching. The reason why I demonstrate stuff in action is often people will see things out of context and either question its viability or its weakness. I want to show it in context of me doing something. So not, oh, here's down 2. Let's move on. No, it's here's down 2. Here's how you set up down 2. Here's why it's good, etc. and so forth. So in this situation, I'm +8 into an 18 frame move. If my opponent mashes a jab, right, I will counter hit them. That is why I'm showing you being +8. The idea is to show a situation where down 2 will work against my opponent. Like, the whole point of these videos is to be like the thinking man's Lars. Like, in this situation, I will set up X, my opponent will respond with Y, we get Z. Like, that's the idea. So, +8. He attempts to mash against me. I get that. Then you can get follow-ups on the ground because you are plus 30, which is a lot. So you can get follow-ups against them. This is a change I really like. Down 2 counter hit used to just knock them down, face down, head towards, which is really good. But this change is phenomenal. Actually really, really good. I actually really like this change. Right? Like for me, this change greatly benefits the sort of thing I look for. So I think this is a good change. This move will break the floor. Also very, very important. That's actually why it's really good. So its ability to break the floor is quite powerful. That's why you want to be looking for this move. Because on top of it just being good anyway, it's just good. It's just good to use. One of my signature moves, anybody who knows me, in fact, Enthroner, you were facing me literally just last night. One of my signature moves is a little move called Into the Storm. It's a move I've been using pretty much non-stop since Tekken 7. It's one of my favorite moves. It's this move. Forward 3, 1+2. I love this move. Great distance. Used to be minus 10 on block. High instant tornado launcher, right? In Tekken 7, it was an instant tailspin launcher. In this game, instant tornado launcher. However, in this game, in Season 3 right now, this happened. The instant tornado launcher is now gone. Completely gone. Which is a shame. Levels to this. The first thing to keep in mind is that this attack went from minus 10 to minus 1. So this now fulfills a similar function to 4-3-1. So 4-3-1, Dynamic Entry 1, is a high move that was +1, left you standing. In the case of 1+2, it's a high -1, puts you into crouch. Right? So you can do situations like this. Like that. So if your opponent responds with a button, you can do situations like that. That's kind of the reason for doing it. Or you can attempt to sidestep them. Whoa, hello. So that's kind of the gimmick now. Do you see what I'm talking about? The reason this change is interesting, it creates a neutral situation where you can now do some really goofy stuff like that. Because at -1, you can sneak in a step. Right? You can contest their buttons. There's a variety of things you can do. Right? Notice how I can't while standing for him. However, while standing 2, which has high evasion, will instead go underneath his jabs. So there's benefits to this. I personally don't love this change because I would rather have a combo than a mix-up, personally. So for example, if I do FF4-2, which is +11, right? He's going to mash against me, right? So now I will counter hit him, if you can see. The thing is, if I do it too fast, because he's doing a jab, I just straight up beat it. But I need him to do something a little bit slower. In fact, I need him to do Power Crush is what I need him to do. So I need him to do Power Crush. Cool. So let's set up the following situation. Because this is what people do a lot. They'll do FF4 to Dynamic Entry 3, right? However, Dynamic Entry 2 will counter hit them, which is really, really good. But as you can imagine, that Dynamic Entry 2, of course, gives up your turn. Because you're -7. The difference being that if you now do... Hello? JC Special. If you now do FF4-2, it's now a counter hit tornado launcher. So no longer normal hit tornado launcher, counter hit. So this sequence still works. This still works. As you can see. So it does still combo. And also, Importantly, quite importantly, in combos it still works. So it has now become similar to Limited Entry 2. So you know how Limited Entry 2 does not launch normally, but in combos it does. So Dynamic Entry 1 plus 2 fulfills a similar function to Limited Entry 2. It's a tornado launcher in the air, but is no longer a tornado launcher on the floor, which kind of hurts me because a lot of the situations I like to do, certain whiff punishes and setups, will no longer work. It now just turns into a knockdown. On knockdown, you get a guaranteed forward 2, which of course leads into a stance, or you can use it on its own. Like so. You know? Which leaves you plus 16. Which can set up a variety of things. You know? You know? Luckily, forward 2 doesn't force you into stance, so you can kind of just let it rip. And then you can go for the follow-up afterwards, right? So, in terms of viability, it's good. It is good. It's just a shame that he loses his combo. So, I feel a certain type of way about it, personally. Like, I loved Into the Storm combo. It was very, very fun. It still exists in the counter hit form, but it's just a shame, to me, he no longer gets it naturally. I find that to be a huge shame, personally. That's how I feel. It's the biggest change I hate, quite frankly. Like, I've been kind of complaining about it all day, because I think it's a really cool move. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, where it's like, by removing this, it's not about how it changes viability, because here's the thing. I think it being -1 on block is pretty cheap. You know, I think that's pretty stupid. Because you can literally do a lot of shenanigans that way. Right? I understand that it also does chip. Also, if in case it's not obvious, it actually does chip on block. It didn't used to. So now it does chip on block. -1 leaves him close. There's a lot about it that's good. And I'm sure you can probably imagine that you can do some, like, goofy-ass stuff like this. Yes, you can do that. Obviously. Because, quite frankly, you could do that before anyway if people mashed, but now you can now do stuff like either let it rip up for 3, or you can hold the duck while standing 1 if you see a jab. So, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, and in terms of viability, it changes how you think about the move, especially people who didn't use it. But for someone who liked it as a combo, kind of sucks. Like, I'm not happy about it in terms of my playstyle, but it's not that it's ruined the character. So please do not get it twisted. The character is not ruined. He's not nerfed into the ground. They have simply changed the way you have to think about him. And it means that you have to be more mindful of doing stuff like this, where like you have to be more switched on and ready to confirm it on the ground. Do you see what I'm talking about? That is what has now happened. Cool? Alright. This isn't a change that necessarily makes me lose sleep, but I think it's going to bother a lot of people. Sound Entry 1 is now -9 and puts you right next to them. As you can see. So it's still heat engages. That hasn't changed. It's still heat engages. It's still 12 frame startup. That has not changed. The difference being, on block, it is now -9 and leaves your opponent much closer. So as you can see, because if I don't hold back immediately, there's a chance I can get hit by a stray jab. So my turn is now completely over. Do you see? It's not punishable, it is safe. But it simply means that my opponent is significantly closer. There's no other changes to its other properties. Startup frames are the same. Does the same damage. Still heat engages. Still gives you a heat dash. None of that has changed. However, it keeps you much closer. So you have to block immediately. Which means you can't get away with stuff like this. You can't do like... Hold on. I'm messing it up. So there, I'm trying to do down forward 2. That's what people used to do. They do like Sound Entry 1 into down forward 2. You can't do that anymore. or like contest with a jab or whatever, because leaving him this close means you will get attacked. Do you see? So this is to be clear, this is a change I don't lose sleep over. Why? In Tekken 7, in Tekken 7, this attack, Silent Entry 1, was -10. It was -10 on block, and the character was relatively close, so they could just punish you, right? The characters who could punish it the most consistently were like Gigas and other characters. So in Tekken 7, this was actually -10, and characters like Gigas could punish you, right? Also, in later seasons, I believe it was season 3, it became -9. So safe, like this. So if anything, this is a return to Tekken 7 Season 3. The only difference is in Tekken 8 Season 1 and early Season 2, of course, and Tekken 8 Season 1 and 2, it became -6. So it went from -10 to -9 to -6 with a lot of pushback, which was pretty silly, admittedly. So now it's simply gone back to basics. You see what I mean? It's now gone back to basics. Now gone back to being -9. No longer pushing them back and allowing you to get away with shenanigans. Silent Entry 2 has lost its counter hit launch. Say it with me. Silent Entry 2 has lost its counter hit launch. Completely. It's gone. It's completely gone. Which means this situation right here, where it used to be that you'd want to, if you see people doing this a lot, if you know people are used to stopping your Silent Entry 1, now you don't get a combo. Right? So you notice how with this I get guaranteed forward 4-2. This is now a similar thing. So let's count it off here. Put him back to block. Guaranteed forward 4-2. Are you beginning to see a pattern, chat room? Look closely. Look closely. Look at this. Forward 4-2. Okay. Are you watching? Are you watching, chat room? Oh, would you look at that? And what the counter it's on, sorry. And also, let's be clear. Let me be clear. Let's be clear. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. You can do forward 4-3 +4. It's a natural hit combo, and you are, what was it, +15? Yeah. So you can do that if you want to. You know, it leaves him at a weird angle. But if you time it right, you can get a meaty. If you're a god, you can do... So what I just did there, if you do micro sidestep, you can do instant micro sidestep stomp, right? So for example, like that. So do you see what I just did there? I just did, and I think the better way to show this off is let me get him to... So we're removing counter hit, just so there's no smoke and mirrors. I'm going to remove my counter hit, right? I'm going to get him to power crush me. And then when I hit him with Silent Entry 2, he's going to do low get up kick. Cool? Cool. So do you see what I just did just there? I did Dynamic Entry 3. I did Dynamic Entry 3. Silent Entry 2, which knocked him down. He wakes up with low get up kick. I then do micro sidestep stomp. It counter hits his get up. So that's a kind of a cool sequence I just did. But you know what's cooler than that sequence? Getting a damn combo. While running 1 in aerial combos will now knock them away. So you can no longer do while running 1 send 4. It also means that we lose very unique and, in my opinion, saucy combos like this. That is now gone. So all of the combos that you used to use while running 1 are now gone. including while standing 3. So every combo that you utilize while running run is now gone completely. Completely. So as a result of that, a lot of the Season 2 max damage is now irrelevant. So you remember that community combo video we made? Ancient history. It's why I said on Twitter, kind of doomer like, that, guys, I guess we're not doing a Season 3 combo video. Because all our combos is all the old tactics. Now, here's what you need to be doing. Back to Season 1, baby. It's the old tactics. Now, if you pay attention, if I do this, I try to do Dynamic Entry 3, didn't work. Try to do the Stomp, does not work, as you can see. However, if I do 1+2, I will counter hit them. Why? Because 1+2 is 12 frame startup, so it will beat their attempt to Rage Art me. And as you can see, that was too fast. It's now the only way to get a combo. So let's do a little jobber combo. Cool. Or the combo I like to do, which is... check this out. Remember how I said Dynamic Entry 2 did not counter hit them? It now does. So because of the increased counter hit window, if your opponent tries to Rage Art you in certain situations, they will now get counter hit like so. See? It's because I'm plus 12. Which also means... lol. That is not what I wanted. That's pretty funny though. Which also means the following. I'm plus 11. Cool. Oh no. Oh no. Got him! See? He tried to Rage Art me at plus 11. Den 2 will now counter hit them if they try to Rage Art you. This is now a real mix-up. See? So your options are now 1+2, especially if they try to Power Crush or Rage Art, or I was too slow. I'll delete it. There you go. But I think that my closing comments are this. The character is not dead. He's not trash. He's not whatever. His identity has not changed. However, the way in which you have to think about how you use some of his options, especially up close, has changed. How you feel about changes such like Dynamic Entry 1+2 has changed. Silent Entry 2 not counter hit launching has changed. So how the character feels to play may affect your choice in using him. It's not going to affect mine. However, I will fully understand if people don't feel like the character's fun anymore. Because when I'm talking to people, I'm saying it's not about viability. It's not about strength. It's like, does the character feel fun to play now that they've done this to his legacy moves? I don't know. That's up to individual interpretation. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. We'll see how Season 3 turns out. Like, I wish I was a bit more positive about it. I wish, like, you know, we all knew nerfs are coming. We all knew nerfs are coming, and I expected a nerf to while running one, strong aerial tailspin. That's why, to me, I'm not losing sleep over it. Rip Bozo, it's a shame. It was gas, but I'm not losing sleep over that. Silent Entry 1 being -9 and up close, to be honest with you, people shouldn't have been abusing that on block anyway. It being -6 with pushback was pretty stupid. Once again, not losing sleep over that. But losing some of his, like, kind of fun tools, combo tool-wise, is a little bit of a shame. That's all. That's all. So I'm not really blown away. I don't really feel like there's a Season 3 combo video on the way because there's nothing new you can really do. It's all just old tactics. That's it really. But we will see how things go because remember, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Plenty of other characters will receive changes. We'll see how things turn out. But hope you enjoyed watching and yeah, Season 3 is here. Let's see what happens.